In this video everyone, what is Keiko, my Daihatsu Tanto Custom RS no less, actually like to drive on local roads, fast roads, motorways? Let's find out. I've been asked this a few times and I'm here to answer that question in this video. What's the fuel consumption like? What's it actually like on the motorway? What's it like on a windy day? Well, we've chose a really good day to film this video everyone, because UK is having yet another one of those storms. So although it's not raining, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't rain, the winds are quite strong, so you're going to possibly hear what wind noise that you get on such a tall slab-sided car, and what it's like on the handling, particularly when we go on the motorway. So stick with us. We're going to talk fuel consumption. We're going to talk about living with this car day to day, a little bit about its practicalities, and generally just, well, basically just showing that it can be used for pretty much anything. What it certainly isn't is just a city car. Remember, in Japan, 40% of cars in Japan roughly are K cars. If I was driving the streets of Japan now, even out further afield, you're going to see lots of Daihatsu Tantos, some custom RSs. These cars are used in Japan for everything. They're not used just for pottering around in town. They are a car to be used, and that's exactly what we do with Keiko. We use this car sometimes as a family car, sometimes to travel from Derbyshire to Bristol. And no, I don't do it just because I enjoy the looks that I get as I'm going down the M5. Well, I assume it's the car that's getting the looks, not me. I get some strange looks. Some people obviously don't notice, don't care, and that's cool. I didn't buy it to deliberately get noticed. Some people stare at it and go, what the hell is that? And some people, I think, just love it. I've had a couple of thumbs up. So at the end of the day, the UK, like most places, it's full of boring, let's be honest, I know it's a well-worn phrase, but boring Euro boxes. Okay, this car may be shaped a bit like a cardboard box, but it doesn't look like everybody else's cardboard box, does it? So let's cut straight to fuel consumption while we're on a 40-mile-an-hour road. If I drive this car steady, and most of the times it is driven steady to be fair, if I drive this car steady, I can easily get to that magical 60 miles to the gallon. And yes, I have done that by doing what's called a empty fill. I'm not quoting something that dashboard is telling me. I'm doing it by good old-fashioned maths. Filling the tank up with fuel, driving the car until it's low, noting the miles, filling it back up again. It's the only way to get an accurate fuel consumption, I'm sure you agree. But 60 miles to the gallon is definitely achievable. Obviously, yes, it depends how it's driven. Occasionally, I do like to have a little bit of fun with Keiko, and on that basis, it does use a little bit more fuel, but to be quite honest, not as much fuel as maybe you'd expect after having a bit of fun. So this turbocharged 658cc engine with 64 horsepower, it's silky smooth. It's 3-cylinder, remember, it's silky smooth. It's got enough power. The world shouldn't be just about 0 to 60, should it? Now, another thing I get asked, of course, is, well, what is it like when you're carrying other people in the car? Now, we haven't at the moment used this car as a full-on holiday trip car, I confess. And because we haven't, well, basically that means I can only tell you what it's like with 4 people and some bits in the car. With 4 people and some bits, I don't notice any difference, to be honest. I think obviously because of the turbo, this pulls really nicely. If I'm going uphill, okay, you will hear the revs more, and like I said on the previous video, the reason you hear the revs more is it's got a CVT transmission. I'm sure you all know what CVT is, but if you don't, it's constant variable transmission, which basically means when you're pulling away, particularly if you're going to pull away very, very briskly, shall we say, when you pull away briskly, the revs go up and then the car catches up with the revs, whereas of course with a normal gearbox the revs go up with the speed of the car. So of course, the revs go up, car catches up, and then the revs calm down. It's something you have to accept is part of a characteristic of a CVT gearbox. I love it, wouldn't change it. Some people don't like them, but then some people don't like the semi-automatic gearboxes that are in my two smart cars, so we can't win them all. But for me, stick this in drive, I can put the armrest down. I haven't got it down today, but I can put the armrest down and just chill. Not a lot else to do. The only thing I have to remind myself, of course, is that the wipers are actually on the side that the indicators normally would be, on the left hand side of the steering wheel, and the indicators are on the right hand side of the steering wheel, which of course would normally be the wipers. I have, I think, almost cracked it now with not sort of putting the wiper on to turn right, but you know what I'm saying. That's just a characteristic of a Japanese car, or certainly a Japanese import car. So I'm going to go quiet for a minute, and I want you to listen to what I can hear in the car. See what you think. Apart from the bumps. I'm not deliberately driving slow. I'm currently doing 40. We're on a 40 mile an hour road and there's a truck in front. Remember folks, you haven't gone deaf. I just want you to hear what I'm hearing in the car so you get an idea of what it actually sounds like. Bearing in mind it is very windy today. Anyway. That's 50 mile an hour. Oh, I can't stay quiet. 50 mile an hour. Don't you agree it's quiet? Now I don't know. The microphone on the camera is really, really sensitive. It's a very good microphone, but you probably are hearing wind noise because, as I say, there is a storm today. But otherwise, the car is just so quiet. In this video, I will do a quicker pull away, so you get what I'm saying about the CVT transmission. So yeah, what have we said so far? 60 mile a gallon, definitely achievable. Very smooth, easily keeps up with traffic. No problem up the hills. Plenty of space for 4 of us. Obviously, if you need more luggage space, well, you move the rear seats forward to a point that gives you enough luggage space and still gives you a balance of legroom. At least you have that choice. And each of the seats, remember there's only 2 seats because it's a 4-seater car, each of the 2 rear seats move independently, of course, so maybe we got a smaller person on one side and a longer legged person on the other. We normally do. So one seat could be further forward and the other one not quite so forward, and we then probably end up with enough boot space. But days like today, if I'd got Oliver and Alice, my son and daughter, in the back now, and we've got nothing in the boot, then of course they just have limousine style comfort and legroom, wouldn't they? So again, 50 mile an hour. A little bit of road noise, a little bit of wind. Like I said, the microphone's very sensitive. Maybe it's picking up more than my ears are picking up. I know I'm old, but my hearing's fine. It's very smooth. You know, when I used to be on Twitter, I'm no longer on Twitter. I have reasons. Just not interested. Long time ago on Twitter, there was there's a very popular Japanese car nut, and he did an article about K cars and why K cars are no good and certainly wouldn't be any good for the UK. You know, we're all allowed to disagree, aren't we? I disagreed with what he said. He complained about how they drive, how they're slow, how they're not good round corners. Okay, this is no Clio RS around the corners, is it? It's not pretending to be. And I know the temptation, at least in the mind, is to think, oh, but it's tall, so it's a fully over car. It actually rides quite flat, and it's got, probably because it's a custom RS, it's also got low profile tyres, but it just sits on the road quite well, in fact very well. Just have to be aware that you're not going to go around corners quite as quick, shall we say. So I'm waiting. I'm going to try and judge one of these stops where when we pull away we can give it some revs, and then you'll get to know, if you've never driven a CVT before, what to expect. In the meantime, talk amongst yourself. Now, I'll tell you what I do with automatics. If I know I'm going to be sitting in traffic for more than a few seconds, I put it into neutral. Let me know in the comments below, people, if you drive an automatic, do you do the same? If so, why do you do it? If not, why don't you do it? I tend to take it out of drive and put it in neutral. There's so little to do, isn't there, in this car? Just turn this circular thing occasionally, press a pedal sometimes. Right, so when we get to the motorway section in a couple of minutes, we can join the M54 if anyone's interested at junction 1. I think that's the Wolverhampton turn. But we're going to get on the M54 and head west. I will use that opportunity as I go around the island and then up the hill to get on the M54 to press the loud pedal harder than normal, and then you'll get to hear what the CVT is doing, won't you? That'll be a good test. Do it here as well, because we just had to stop for the lights. They changed. So that's what I mean by the revs, but I'm going to do it again as I join the M54. How quiet and smooth is it when it's tooting along at 10 mile an hour in traffic? And smooth. Some gearboxes can be a bit jerky. One of the benefits of the CVT is it's silky smooth, of course. Revvy, but silky smooth. So M54, I'm going to get round the potholes, let's go. Now you see, there was a lot of revs, but that loud though, was it? Really? I'll tell you what, we pulled up the hill and we got 60 miles an hour, extremely quick. Relatively speaking, but you know what I'm saying. So we're doing 65 miles an hour at the minute. Let me know what you're thinking with the wind noise and everything, because we're going to end the video on the motorway. give a couple of overtakes to trucks. See if there's any James May buffeting. And I'm going to let you go. A little bit of a rev against past the truck in a sec. So that's 70 mile an hour. I don't feel like I've needed to particularly raise my voice, but that's 70 mile an hour. Some buffeting, pardon me, some buffeting with the wind. Definitely getting some wind noise now at the top of the windscreen, but it would still be easy to hold a conversation with people in the car. That's it then everyone, thank you very much for watching. Hope to answer some questions about K cars being driven in the UK. If you liked it, found it at least a little bit interesting, remember to hit the thumbs up button. It does show your support, helps build the channel. And if you're not subscribed, there's going to be a link around here somewhere in a few moments. Click on that, you're subscribed to the channel. It's completely free, but again, it does show your support and it helps build the channel. Enjoy whatever it is you're driving, everyone. See you on the next one. One last thing, 70 mile an hour, 3,000 revs. Some people like to know that.